I'm Chelsea,
And I'm Peyton.
and this is
States away. Your hair in your face was like cracking me up.
The Wind is Blowing. But we are not retreating indoors because it is beautiful outside finally. And oh my gosh, do I need this vitamin D so bad. So, we're just
Me
chilling. I have
too.
so much to talk about today. It's gonna be rough on my end because I'm gonna have a hard time shutting up.
Okay, time out. Last time we got cut off talking about a haircut, I think I decided that I want to cut my hair.
We're cutting it. How short?
I don't know, probably just to like my shoulders. But it's like dead.
Yeah, I really need to get my hair trimmed. I don't want my hair to be short because I don't like short hair on me, but my I feel like I need just like a little trim to get some of the dead ends off for
Yeah,
sure.
I could just trim it, but I feel like it's summer and I ne never like leave it down anyways. It's always up. And so if I cut it short, it's out of the way. So like
Yeah.
and it'll grow back. It'll be like this the same time next year, and I'm not getting it dyed, so I'm hoping like that helps it like be
Hmm.
healthier. So,
Yeah. My hair has been seeming like it's doing a height recently, which is nice because my hair is wants to be a little jerk sometimes. Having naturally curly hair is such a battle because it just like your hair wants moisture so bad, but if you give it too much moisture, then your hair is dirty and then it looks weird. And then it's funky. And if I sleep on it the wrong way, then I look like this. And I'm just like, that's great. And
I woke up like that. It was bad. I slept with it wet and it was bad.
yeah, I can't get showers at night because if I go to bed, my hair's wet, then it's so greasy and like disgusting, and I hate it. And then I
Yeah,
just,
mine too. Doesn't
ugh.
stop me. My face is also breaking out so bad. We're just pointing out all of the things. If anyone has any recommendations, let me know because my mom has been like talking about getting me like an acne treatment facial, but I need to wait until like after our cruise and like whatever because I don't want it like breaking out because it's going to get worse before it gets better and I don't want it like
Mm,
intensely breaking out before the cruise. So I've
yeah.
got a while before I can even get that, but
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm like breaking out really bad, but I'm getting a lot of like small, like I'll get like an oddball like pimple like right here, like a little one here, here, like a few. But then it turns into like the whole side of my face has like all this like red splotchiness and like
mm,
spots. And like I have sensory issues with makeup really bad. I literally started getting Rare Beauty foundation because it's a higher end like product. So it's supposed to be like more lightweight and not feel so much like makeup. And I still feel it on my face. People say that it's great, and I think that it definitely is. I think the fact that I can handle wearing foundation says it all. But I still feel it. So I still struggle with it. So I don't really wear it a whole lot. I wear it for like special occasions. Like I might wear it for a show or like I wore it to do my Eras tour live the other day or whatever. But I'm not like a foundation everyday kind of person. I also just honestly usually prefer how I look with less makeup.
I did my nails. You can't look at the other hand. These already look crusty, but because I cannot keep nail polish on to save my life.
Mine look a little crazy too.
And I'm not good. I tried to do a design. It was fine,
Look
but
cute.
I know, I was excited. We got these little like daughter things from Dollar Tree, and I was like, I want to use those.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, my mom, it was so funny the other day because she walks up to me and she's like, "You're gonna be like F you to me, but I've been doing like this something like between I don't know." And she's like, "And these pimples keep popping up and they hurt." And I'm like, "Your pimples hurt?" And she was like, "Yep, I told you you were gonna be like F you to me, but because my face is just breaking out so bad." It's always broke out, but like I was able to get it under control and now I'm just like not. Recently I've been wearing my glasses more, so right here breaks out really bad.
Well, I think that's what
So fun.
happens to me with like right over here where my glasses sit. Like that's where I start getting it, especially for some reason this side. But like today, I wear foundation to work. I don't do that. I don't consider work a foundation um activity. Like I don't wear foundation to work. I don't wear foundation on a regular daily basis, no matter what. But this morning I was looking at my face in the mirror and I was like, I'm not doing it because I knew that when I added concealer, it was gonna be concealer covering my face by that point. By the time I blended it all out, if it like spot treated, like dotted all over, you know. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna put a light layer, and it's a really good coverage foundation for it being as lightweight as it is. But it was supposed to be humid today, and I was so worried that I was gonna be at school and I was going to be losing my mind over like my face feeling super icky between the foundation and the humidity. Actually has not been that bad today. So that's nice. But I wore a foundation to school today. And that, is, just to like express how like splotchy it was so annoying.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just have given up. Honestly, I don't do anything crazy like skincare wise. I use my face wash, I moisturize, but my face wash bleaches everything, literally everything. So
Ugh.
like I'm like starting to bleach sweatshirts and I'm like I can't keep wearing these. Like I'm ruining them because it's like bleaching like the color of it. And so it's just like
Is that safe for your face?
yeah, it's just got like benzoyl peroxide or whatever that is. And so it's fine.
Mm.
It's not like bleach in my like face wash. It's like the peroxide that's bleaching everything. So, but it's fine.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I was like, I don't know if you should be using that.
No, and normally it helps a lot, but
I get what you're saying.
we did kind of talk about it and I'm a little stressy expressy and um I don't know. It just whatever.
Eh. Yeah.
It'll get better, hopefully.
Well, hopefully, once the semester's over, you're not so stressed out because that end of the semester rush is a lot. Like
Mhm.
it's a lot. It's a lot. So like the next few weeks that you're still in school until break are gonna be a little bit like
Yeah.
a little crazy, a little
Well,
cray.
I only have 2 weeks left, and that was like that hit me yesterday. I don't know why it hit me because like I'm very much like back and forth. We talked about this, but I'll tell everyone. I'm very much back and forth whether or not like I actually enjoy school or not. Also, my eyebrows are like, sorry, this was so off topic. I don't know why they look so stringy, but anyway, I'm back and forth on whether or not like I'm actually really enjoying it, but then like I get anxiety when like things change, and so like I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to move out, and then I'm like, but wait, what? I didn't actually like, I didn't enjoy this to its full potential. Like maybe I don't want to move out type thing, and I'm like, I'm so crazy. Like, what is wrong with me?
Honestly, I feel it though because I feel like my mind works the same way. Like I freaking like I stress so much over everything. My hair is just going right now. But I do like it's my mind works the same way and I overthink everything and freak out and it's part of why I've been struggling with my breakup is because it's like I know that he was a messed up individual. I know that our relationship was no good and there was a lot of toxicity to it. I know that it was severely impacting who I am like at my core that it like that he was doing things that were attacking who I am and what my interests are and even if it was subtle it was still like very manipulative. So I know that it was bad, and I can tell myself that. But my mind still goes, and it's like, yeah, but like, what about like this, or what about that, or like, what if I regret this, or what if I didn't like, what if I did something wrong? I don't know. Maybe it's my fault that he was a jerk, because that makes sense. And I feel like I do the same thing with that. I do the same thing with like a lot of things. I really, really do because I do the same thing. Like I think back to high school and I think like, oh my gosh, I got cut off early because of COVID, because COVID was my senior year. And then I'm like, I didn't even enjoy high school to the fullest. And I still stress about that 5 years later. It's not healthy, but like I relate to that so much. Like I
Yeah.
always feel like I am like missing out on something, or that I'm not fully appreciating like a moment, or or something in time. And it's like and I can't figure out if it's just straight up anxiety or if it's like PTSD, because I do have some PTSD. I don't know if it's just like from losing people and like, in life, and then feeling like you got to hold on to everything, like grasp on to everything that you have left, because it feels like you're just like losing stuff all over the place.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is, but me and you are cut from the same cloth on that.
Yeah, I also think it's stemming from I did decide that I am going to graduate a year early. And so I think part of me is like, oh, well, maybe I'm missing out. Like I'm missing out on that year. And like my advisor was like, well, you don't have much time left to get involved in things. And I'm like, so I think that's like a big part of it. Um, so I'm not really sure like whether it is anxiety or if it is just like this is so sad, but like I was left out more as a child, so like I wonder if that could have something to do with it. And so like I'm not putting myself out there like as much, and so like I don't know. I don't know.
Well, and you know what? And I can relate to that too, because as a kid, I had a really hard time making friends when I was young. I've never really like found I mean, I still haven't found my place where I fit in. Like I have a couple good friends, but I haven't found like I don't have like a place that I fit in the world. I've never have. And so I think that, when I got to high school, it took until my senior year for me to kind of feel like I settled in and started like making friends and feeling comfortable and feeling a little bit more like I fit somewhere. Like I didn't like fit into like a group of people. I didn't really fit in with anybody, but I more so was able to fit into my class of people and like talk to everybody. I was able to
Mhm.
converse all over the place. And then COVID happened. I was like, I was finally starting to get my bearings, and this happened. And I
Yeah.
feel like the same thing kind of happened in college, that like for the first part of college, I was like trying to figure it out, trying to figure out where I fit. I think that I started out in a major that really wasn't the right one for me. Not necessarily that it wasn't a good major, I think, because I started out in music therapy. And I think that if I had wholeheartedly pursued it, I think that it could have been good for me. I don't think that I would have found a job around here though. And that was like one of the big problems. But I just think that ultimately I fit in with the commercial music people better because they're more so my people. Like, there was like a couple people that that were like more serious about music. There were some people that were kind of more so just starting out in it, but then there were some serious people. Like there was a guy that he plays bass and stuff, and he like was in a band and like played over in like Europe somewhere or something for a period of time, and he like was doing some stuff in Nashville over summer break or something. I think it was, and there was another guy who actually transferred to a school in Nashville because he's a country singer and went there to like do some stuff more seriously, and it sounds like he's doing some cool stuff. Like I started finding some people that felt more like my people, and then I graduated. you
Mhm.
know and I feel like, and I thought that I was going to find like my people in college, and I feel like I ended up finding people, like I feel like I'm never quite finding people that are as serious about music as I am about me. Ugh. As serious about music as me. I like smushed my sentence together. But I feel like because I'm
Sorry, my
so,
screen is so dirty. I know I like look ridiculous.
me too. Mine, it's so bad. I can't even like see my face, and I can't wipe it off. I don't know what it is. I gotta talk to Jacob. He's like the professional. He'll tell me what to do.
It's
But
like
I've
not coming off, and
always,
I'm like traumatized from when I broke my screen last time. And I don't even know what happened to that can when the
that was
screen broke.
crazy.
I literally opened my laptop and
That
it's
was crazy.
broken.
And
I
it was just like that. That was yeah. But
Anyway, sorry.
but yeah, like I feel like I feel like in my life I've always thought, oh, when I make it here, I'll find my people. When I get there, I'll find my people. When I got to high school, I thought that I would be able to do theater and I would find my people. But then I didn't get into any musicals. I didn't. I auditioned. I tried so hard. I never took a dance class in my entire life. But I was asking every single dancer in there, can you teach me how to do this turn because they can't figure it out? Asking for tips from other people. I mean, like I was like fighting for my life in those auditions,
Mhm.
and I wish that somebody would have at least like seen that drive in me and been like, maybe she just needs a little bit of guidance. Like maybe I was missing something and they just were like, nah, not her. But I wish that the teachers that were involved would have been like, let me teach her something,
Mm-hmm.
But like I never got involved in that. I auditioned for like the select choirs and stuff. Never got into any of that stuff. And then I hope that I would find my people in college, and I still didn't. And so like I feel like along the way I always feel like there's an experience that I'm looking for that I'm missing out on. And I feel like at this point I've pretty much like skipped to the point where I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna find my place in the world whenever I make it. Like maybe because like people straight up tell me all the time that they're intimidated by me because of my drive. And it sucks because I feel like I've worked so hard to be the best that I can be. And I feel like by being the best person that I can be, I've only driven people away. And it sucks. And so I keep thinking, well, maybe I'll find like some people that I can fit in with when I just make it. Maybe that's my people, But then I start wondering, maybe I'm going to be disappointed by that too. And it's a really scary thought. Maybe I'll finally find a boyfriend that isn't like intimidated by me and has to like beat me down and drag me down because they're intimidated by my dreams and my potential. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like throwing this out there, like just to make this clear, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, everyone's intimidated by me. I'm talking people straight up tell me this. People have the balls to look at me and say, I don't know, I'm intimidated by that. It's a lot. Like it's a little bit scary. I feel like I'm not this and that. And I'm just like, can we not compete, please? Please just love me. Never happens. So I'm at this point, I'm like, maybe I can't find the right guy for me either until I make it. And it starts to feel like my entire life depends on that. This is like turning into a therapy session. I'm so sorry. But this has like really been weighing on me so much recently and has been like such a big thought. So like you was saying that stuff, like I feel that so much though, like feeling like you can't ever quite settle in anywhere and feeling like you're always missing out on like some experience. Like I had friends in college that they were friends with like everybody. Some like they knew everybody on campus. They knew everywhere we went, they knew somebody. They were like involved in all this stuff. And I was like, well, why am I not like why am I missing? What am I missing that I'm not doing
Mm-hmm.
that? Ultimately, I think I was just too busy worrying about what I needed to be worrying about and dedicating my life to what I dream of doing.
Yeah, and I
So as
think
much as it's tough, I think that's just the path that maybe me and you are on, is that we're just following, a more important path. Maybe we're headed somewhere better. We haven't peaked
I
yet.
I do think I struggle with putting myself out there in general. So like I don't know if it's necessarily like oh my gosh. Sorry. Ellie's texting me. I don't necessarily
Color
know
it
if it's
tonight.
like, oh my gosh, I have big dreams, although I guess I kind of do. Like I've made it this far to the point where I can graduate college a whole year early type thing. But I think I just like haven't like put myself out there as much as I should have like at the beginning of the year, and so now I'm like falling behind.
Yeah. Well, and on this is like maybe not totally relevant to like the current topic of conversation, but don't like what's the word I'm looking for? Don't underestimate what your goals are. Like just because you're not trying to be a famous singer like Miss Psycho over here, like what you're trying to do with your life is a really, really important thing in the world. It's a very, very noble thing. It's so important. And you're going to make a huge impact on so many people's lives by doing that. Like you are going to be a really, really important person to a lot of people. Like your impact on people's lives is going to matter a whole awful lot. And it all comes from the fact that you're just a really genuine good person that wants to do something good with her life. So
Mhm.
like that's still a big deal. You're still going after something that is worth a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
maybe worth
honest
more than what I'm doing.
yeah, I honestly think it just stems a lot from like I don't put myself out there. It's not that I don't necessarily have goals, kind of like you said, they're just different goals than you have. It's more like I have these goals and I'm like I can't balance it, which I guess leads back to what you were originally saying, but um I don't know. I'll
Wait, hold
figure it
on.
out.
Backtrack like a few seconds because you were breaking up.
Oh my
Hold on,
gosh,
backtrack a second because you were breaking up and I couldn't tell what you said.
you glitched out too. Um I what was I saying? Oh, that like I think that I have a hard time balancing like my goals and then like my social life, which I guess is kind of like back to what you said originally, like, but I don't know. I don't know.
What's so hard to balance, like balancing life is so hard, and I feel like people don't really like talk about it enough for how normal it is. Because I feel like everybody goes through that awkward phase where like you're starting to
I can hear that. What is
I
it?
don't know, I think my dad's doing something down below the deck. But I feel like everybody goes through that phase in life where you're trying to become an adult and the world kind of is expecting you to be an adult and you're expecting yourself to be an adult and you kind of have to be an adult in order to do the things that you're supposed to be doing. But you have no clue how to be an adult because you've never been an adult before. So like you're trying to
Mhm.
balance all of these things. Like it's so hard to balance a friendship and a relationship and a career and a job and lifelong goals and dreams. Like I'm over here trying to balance, like I'm trying to work, I'm trying to maintain my friendships. You know, I'm no longer trying to maintain a relationship, but that relationship was pretty much tanking everything else in my life because it was like sucking me dry. And it what and now where I will where it that should probably be explained a little bit is just that that relationship also wasn't I think the right relationship for me. I think that the right relationship for me would involve somebody who's a lot more supportive of everything else in my life, and rather than trying to pull me away from those things would push me towards them and encourage me to do them and be more involved in those things happily, rather than, so I think that in like a better circumstance, I think that it would be easier to balance. But
Yeah,
it's still a whole other person thrown into your life you're trying to spend time with. I'm trying to go live. I'm trying to write music, practice music. I got rehearsals on Thursdays. I got band meeting on Sundays. Sunday night, I have to like pack lunch, prepare myself for the week, and like check my schedule and this and that. I've got therapy once a week now because God knows I need that in my life real bad. So
and
like I feel like I feel like I'm doing nothing right anymore because I can't make everything happen. It's so
yeah.
hard.
And like back to your whole relationship thing, I think it was good for you at the beginning because you kind of like at the beginning it was like you saw how you wanted to be treated. Obviously that took a turn, but like at the beginning there
Mhm.
was a, a time where you were like, "Oh my gosh, this is great. This is how I want to be treated." And then you realized that he had different goals from you and it just didn't work out that way. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he had
I'm
different goals for you than you had for yourself.
yeah, yeah. I don't, and in his defense, I think that it's a lot to expect of somebody to want to like follow you along for this crazy journey that you're trying to go on. Like
Hmm.
I want to move to Nashville. Like we literally on Easter, Scotty came over for Easter to hang out for a little bit because he always comes over for a little bit for holidays now because he's literally like part of he's
Hmm.
family. So he was here. You're just letting me record that for the podcast. He's shooting a bottle rocket
Oh,
with water pressure. It's
it's
my
like,
dad.
what is going on?
He's like, what the heck is that? Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, okay. We were making plans for like the future for my music and stuff because we're trying like I'm at an age now where like something has to happen or else I'm gonna like run out of time in that time frame where like people want you because you're young and you're fresh and you're talented and and you're pretty and you're this and you're that. Like eventually time's gonna catch up and I'm gonna have to make a decision about whether I want to continue to pursue this into the ground or whether I want to take a step back and maybe just settle down and get married and have some kids because I want a family. So I don't want to like totally forfeit my ability to have that by pursuing this to the ends of the earth and then not ever having the opportunity to have this. But, so like I feel like I'm at a very, very crucial point in my career and it's so much pressure. But right now, the current goals that I have set up is that I want to double my TikTok following so that I have something impressive to show for all my hard work. And then I want to get a few more songs recorded and take an EP. And I want to literally go and hand CDs to people in Nashville. I want to take a trip and I want to go and I want to put myself in front of people and I want to get seen and noticed. And then I want them to go and look at my stuff online and see that. And I like, but imagine asking somebody like, hey, you want to like go with me to Nashville for the summer, like for a trip? You want to move to Nashville with me? Or would you like to have a long distance relationship while I go to Nashville and pursue this? Like, that's also a lot to ask of somebody.
Because
But
the
I
thing,
just think that if in a relationship with somebody and you know that that's their goals and you start off the relationship thinking that they're like famous, like saying that and legitimately believing that, don't you think that somewhere in there you've thought that through a little bit? Like, don't date someone that you think is famous if you don't want the famous lifestyle.
yeah. No, and I think the thing is with like the whole Nashville thing, you're not gonna be able to go down there for a week and just hand them and expect a call back. Like the people who got famous through Nashville moved up and moved everything down there and worked at like I've talked to multiple people about this. They worked at like the local Dairy Queen while they like are pursuing their dream. Like they had no good job. They're like slumming it.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that Chase McDaniels worked at a restaurant. I think it was him who said he worked at a restaurant. Wasn't it
yeah,
him? I
yeah,
think it
they're
was
like
him. I
slumming
can't
it.
remember because
And
now I feel like I'm mixing up.
yeah, no, they're slumming it in like the hood version of Nashville, like living with, I've talked to my mom about this too, like living with like seven other people in like an apartment type thing. Like this is not like the ideal lifestyle. Like, and I know you probably know this, but you're not gonna walk up to someone and be like, here's my music, and then go home and they're gonna call you back and be like,
Yeah,
hey, like this is great. No, you're gonna be playing at like the local bars, like on the
for
Nashville.
freaking $100 for 3 hours, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
It was
yeah. On
horrible.
the Nashville
To even
Strip.
live off, I don't even know how.
And it's not going to be convenient hours. It's going to be on like Wednesday nights or like Wednesday afternoons, like type thing. Like people who move to Nashville up and move their whole life. The only reason why Taylor Swift was so successful in Nashville and did not have to do any of those things is because her parents had money. Like in a lot of
Which
it.
is something that I really don't have. I literally, look, this is like, I've been saving up for like, I mean, I've been saving up for a long time, but I usually had to dip into my savings for like a holiday or something before I had like a stable job. And now I'm able to use my money for my stable job for like other things that I need and then like put my show money away. But I literally have $1,100. And you know what that's going to get me? That's going to pay for my EP to go and take places. That's about all that's going to get me, if that.
Yeah.
Like, that's like then that like I have to have money to move there and like have a place and like I have to support myself. And in this economy, I don't.
Yeah, no, you
No.
like I
How?
talked to my mom about it. You're going to live with eight other people, like in a small two-bedroom apartment type thing. Like you're like it's not going to be the bougie life, and you can't just like go down there and expect them to call you back. Like as shitty as it is. But
Like it's really intimidating and it's a lot. But it's something that I've dreamed of since I was like too young to even remember. So to me, it's worth it to try to figure it out and go and chase down this dream. But to the average person who's never, even planned of working like a decent job and just was like, oh, I'm gonna work some kind of cool job and like live in an apartment. It's cool, it's fine. Like that is so outside of that realm that
mhm.
there's a lot of people that aren't really, and then like, you know, and then like you have some people like there was this one guy that I dated that was actually a pretty decent guy, but what he wanted was to work his butt off at work and come home to a family that he was supporting to put food on the table. He was a very decent guy with good values and a really good, prospect for what he wanted his life to be. Completely normal.
Mhm.
And I think that he would be great for anybody else. But he was another one that kind of tried to discourage me from the music thing by like making some comments here and there about stuff and kind of like just like there just started being some problems and it's just really hard knowing that like my like one dream is keeping me away from another dream because I'm a hopeless romantic. So the day I die, I'll be a hopeless romantic, and it's really really hard knowing that I pretty much have to sacrifice one for the other. But
Yeah,
I also know that my heart lies so much stronger with the music thing because it's who I am, and I know that I can that can never be taken away from me. I can never lose it, and it will always be there for me. It is always going to be a part of me no matter what happens in my life. So I gotta go for it, you know? But
yeah.
hey, if any of you guys are watching this podcast and you don't follow me on TikTok already, go follow me if you want to help support me to go to Nashville because the goal is I need 80,000 followers before my mom is actually gonna go there with me. So that's the deal we made. That's like the goal. That's like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the I can't think of words today. I'm a songwriter. Words should be like my thing. That's like I don't know, like the finish line. If we get to that point, then I'm allowed to go. Is like like the plan that
Hmm.
we like that's the goal because I want to have something decent to show for myself
Yeah.
whenever you look me up. I need to be like I need something good to present. I need a good following on YouTube too, which is gonna be really hard because YouTube won't let me post videos right now. I was trying to post stuff from the Era store the other day, yesterday actually, and it just was like, no, try later, sorry. And I've had that happen so many times recently.
So weird. But yeah, on the downside, you are like right now is kind of like your prime. You kind of talked about it. You're gonna reach that age where there's not.
Ah, sorry.
So that's a downside. But if you do end up reaching that age and you need to step back, you'll still be young enough where you can have that family and like settle down. So like unfortunately it is such a young age, but it's also a young enough age where if you do have to settle down and pursue that other dream, that works too. As crappy as it is, like
Yeah, like I really, really hope, and I pray all the time for that to be the outcome, that I get to have both. That I get to have my dream and have a family and have a big family. Like I've always dreamed of having a really big family, you know? So I want to find a way to make it work, and it's all important to me. So I'm gonna do everything in my power to make those things
yeah.
happen. I just gotta be strong. I gotta surround my people. What the heck? Why can't I form sentences? I gotta surround myself with people that are on the same page. You know, people like you, because you're always encouraging me and you always have my back and you're always helping me figure things out and giving me good advice.
Mhm.
So this is my moment to just,
Just
let
marry
everybody
me, I
know.
mean.
I honestly just think that I should, and then we can just adopt some kids. We'll be
Listen, technology is so great nowadays that we could have our own kids. Like,
cool. We could have one of them. You know how in The Sims 4 you can have like a science baby?
yeah, we can have a science baby.
Well, a science baby.
Time out. This is totally unrelated. Are you part of the TikTok Creator Fund?
I actually have no idea.
Because I think you qualify for it and you can make money that way too.
I don't know. I feel like I looked into that, and I see there's a few things I've looked into, and now I can't remember which one was which. But I know that there was something that I qualified for that I feel like I like did all the things to set something up a while back, and there was something else that I did not qualify for yet. Simply because I think because I just didn't have enough activity on my account at the time because I wasn't posting enough. It's part of why I've been going like post crazy. I'm like trying to milk this Aerosaur for all that it's worth. Although I do worry like maybe I'm posting too much of it because I do want people to still want to watch my live, but it gives me a lot of good content to post.
Hmm.
But I kind of thought that those videos would be getting more attention, and they're not even reaching 100 likes, which is very odd for my Taylor Swift stuff.
I
The algorithm is
honestly,
not my friend right now.
I think personally, people within the next year, maybe 6 months, are going to be over the Eras tour. Like, because unless they're
See,
actual
oh,
Swifties,
look at it.
unless they're actual Taylor Swift fans, I think that it's going to die off because people jumped on that train because Taylor Swift was popular and like I had a friend go because she did not want to miss out on going because everyone was going. So I think that and that was different because she is like a big Taylor Swift fan now. But I think that it's going to start to die off and people aren't going to care. And I think that's part of the reason, like, not to be a jerk, but I think that's also part of the reason why your lives have been getting less views because people just
Yeah.
don't care as
Ooh,
much.
this one got 100. Got to
Okay.
150.
It's because they love
Like,
Peyton.
oh wow, not me. Thanks.
That's okay. They don't love me either. I was getting flamed.
Dude, that made me so mad. That I'm protective, okay? I don't even think that I realize how protective I am. But someone started saying something, and I'm like, that's my wife. You better just back down or you're gonna get it. And then I'm like, okay, cool it, Chelsea. Cool it. You don't need to be crazy. And I'm like, but I could be. But I could be.
You should have said something. It was probably a solid 30 minutes where they were just like on my butt. I was like, what?
I'm like, for the most part, I like, it's something that I honestly always laugh about a little bit because I'll be doing the Eras tour and people are like, nah, 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 nah. I am so blissfully unaware of everything that's going on during those lives. I am so far away from the phone. I've got my contacts in, so unless I'm like up close, sometimes I can't even like read the comments because sometimes my contacts get like a fingerprint or something weird. I don't know why, but sometimes they just get funky and then I can't
Yeah.
like see it well. Not to mention the fact that I can't read the comments and sing at the same time, and I'm singing the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what they're saying. I see a quick glimpse of what's going on when I go into the changing room to change. If anybody specifically ever wants to tell me anything, the time to do it is what is going on with this piece of hair?
Okay,
The time to
you
do it is
gotta
going
hurry up.
shoot. Maybe we should just like start over again and then keep going because this is a good
Yeah.
one. This is a good episode.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, hang on. We'll be back. Okay. Anyway, they were flaming me for it, like for a solid 30 minutes. I was like, someone asked about your boy toy, and I was like, I, I was a little snarky. I won't even lie. I put WTF kind of question is this? And no one liked that. And then they started flaming me. Like,
My mom was irritated by that comment too. She's like, even if because
oh, where'd you
you
go?
know like, huh?
I lost you.
I'm right here.
I
Come find,
lost you.
come find me.
Oh, I found you. Okay.
Yay! But I mean, I don't know why, like, people think it's funny to say your boy toy, but, like, I also just think it's gross. And, like, it's irritating because, that, like, sensitive subject, but they don't know that, nor would they probably care anyway if they knew,
Well,
just being honest. But even if there was no other reason, like, why do you need to, like, be weird?
no,
Just,
I didn't like referring to someone as a boy toy. Like, it was just weird.
like,
Like,
I don't like that. I just think it's rude.
and so, yes, maybe I was a little sassy and maybe I shouldn't have said that. But seriously, WTF kind of question is that?
Yeah, like
Like,
I didn't see that question myself. I don't think I did see that one. I don't think I did. My mom mentioned it to me once. She was like, "Yeah, they were saying that," and I was like, "What is wrong with people?" But
yeah.
there was that the only comment that I really saw that stood out to me was when that one person was saying that you and my mom were gonna like cost me my fans and my career or something, and I'm thinking, "Oh, honey, they are like literally helping me build my
Oh
career."
yeah.
I don't know
There
what planet you're living on, but it is under a
well,
rock.
there was like for being her best friend, you're really taking away the attention from her. And I'm like, no, I'm just commenting. No one has to read the comments. Oh,
I
yeah. And then
I
uh,
mean, I
Scott was like
it's good.
commenting to me,
Wait,
and I replied, "Don't talk to me." They didn't like that either. They were like, "You are so rude." And then like the one person, which we always have problems with, which I'm not going to name names, but you know who I'm talking about, was like
yep.
was like, "This is why I don't come in this live because you are so rude, young lady." And I'm like, "What the hell?"
Meanwhile, Scott literally was texting me after the live to tell me about how like you guys were goofing around because he was watching the live and then you said it to him and he was like, "I'm already here," and I don't
Yeah.
know. But like he was like poor Peyton because everybody was just like getting her the whole time. Like but like people say stuff and I think it really brings to light how important it is, though, how important context is. Because Scott is our friend. We know Scott. Scott, yeah,
Well,
whatever he's going on about and whatever we're saying to him, like it's all like inside jokes and teasing each other and stuff. Like,
well,
we don't
that's
need to
the
protect
thing.
Scott. Don't
That
worry.
that's the thing. I was like, guys, I know Scott. And then someone replied, "Is he your boy toy?" And I just muted them. I was like,
We're really coming back to this.
yeah, I'm like, you saw how annoying it made everyone the first time? Like
At that point, you're just trying to cause trouble.
yeah. And it wasn't the same person either. Like both me and your mom replied to that original comment and was like, "What's wrong with you?" And then that second person like goes and says that, and I'm like, seriously? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Mm,
I don't know. I Yeah, and I didn't see, like I said, I didn't see everything, but Scott told me a little bit about it afterwards too, that it was like the one person said something and he was like, and all these people were just like rallying behind her like crazy, all like joining it. Like, you don't even know like what's going on, like what
yeah.
are you doing?
And
I
then
don't
at
know.
some point, someone was like, "Okay, I'm new here. Who's Peyton?" And then your mom, Aiden, and Scott were like, "She's the best moderator." And I'm like, "Okay, guys, like I'm all like that was sweet because like I'm over here like, okay, I'm gonna shut my mouth because clearly anything I say in this comment section is not getting received well."
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think that part of it was a slower night. So people like that got a lot more like screen time. Just
Hmm.
being honest, normally when we do those lives, like you don't hardly see, like, we don't normally hardly see any of the comments because you can't keep up.
Yeah.
You can't read that fast. They're flying by so fast. Like, it's really, really difficult. That's like literally part of what your job is to help me keep track of the comments because I can't. So if there's something important,
Hmm.
you help me find it and stuff.
Yeah, no, I was like,
Like,
I am getting flamed. And then I'm already upset because I failed my freaking math quiz, which it's fine. The lowest one gets dropped. That was my lowest one by far. That's not the point. So I'm
but
already
that
upset
still
about
sucks.
that. What?
But that's still like a sucky feeling. So like you're feeling like that, and then
Yeah. So
this
like,
crazy lady comes around like, "Nee, nee, 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 nee."
yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, like why are we flaming me right now? I'm like, it was so bad. And then your mom's like, be nice. And I'm like, I'm like, ah. Your mom didn't say be nice to me. Your mom was like, be nice to everyone else, like in the comments. But I was like, you're hurting my feelings, guy. I'm sensitive.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that when it's a slower live, when it gets like booming, you also get some really diehard people that if someone dares say something like nasty, they get pounded by so many people saying, "Shut up, go away, no one asked you, we don't
Mhm.
need your negativity here, this is a fun zone." And like the comment, it disappears and is so far gone at that point that like we're honestly just sitting there laughing about it. But when it's a
Yeah,
little bit slower, you don't quite have the same energy. So like I feel like those comments are always there. But when
yeah.
it's slower, you just see them more, you feel them more, you know,
No,
just
and
a
it's
little
so
more.
funny because like I feel famous in your comment section most of the time because most of them like especially at the beginning era stores, they were all like, "Hi, Peyton." And I'm like, "Oh my God, hi." And yeah, so like you said, they anyone says anything about me, they would go after them or anything about you. And it's like the entire comment section floods and I'm like, "No one knows what you're talking about anymore." Like half the time I have to go in and like scroll to see what comment they're like replying to because it's going so fast. Like,
Like it gets crazy in there sometimes. Yeah. But you know what? Like what is nice? So I'm a little bit disappointed that some of the Taylor Swift stuff seems to be losing some popularity. I kind of wonder if there's going to be a lull and then if it's going to pick up a little bit just because usually I feel like I feel
oh,
what was that?
A fly, I think.
It looked a whole lot bigger than a fly. Either that or it was really close to
Well,
my
there's like
eyeball.
horse flies. They're big.
Yeah, but this did not. I don't know. That came out. I don't. I can't, but it was. I don't know. I just kind of like barely saw it at the corner of my eye. I'm gonna wait till that footage comes back and I see it later, and it's like this big or something. But
It was pretty
it
big.
looked huge. So I hope it was actually as big as I thought it was, or else my reaction is gonna look really stupid.
I mean, I could see it on camera, so.
So that's something, I guess. Anyway, where was I?
Eris Tour stuff dying down, and then
Oh yeah. I will say that like I don't think that it's like correlated to like I don't think that it's happening because that's dying down so da da da. But what is nice is that like I feel like my original music is being more appreciated. Why is it not loading my other videos? What is going on? Like I feel like my videos of my original songs, what is my phone doing? Like I feel like some of my original songs were getting some more likes or like I feel like equally. And like I feel like in the past sometimes I would post an original song and it would get like 15 likes or something. It would depend on what the original song was. But like that's nice because I work really hard on my original songs and I put my whole entire heart and soul into them. I put, all of my emotions, all of my bee. That was a honeybee, I think, so it doesn't not really all that scary, but they keep coming out of nowhere and I'm just like, what are you? Get away.
there
Personal
I
space, please.
I
Step.
keep getting distracted because there's this little girl, which I don't even know why this little girl's here, but whatever, with the dog running back and forth, and she's just screaming at the dog because the dog keeps getting distracted and won't come and follow her. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, but no, I have noticed like your original songs are getting more attention anyways because at the beginning Eras tours, probably like the first five, honestly. I mean, for like there was a drastic drop between like when you were singing Taylor Swift songs versus when you were singing your songs. And then like it started to like dropping less and less, and then people are like requesting your songs in the comments, and I'm like, oh my God, like,
Well, and then my parents were saying that they were noticing because, like, once again, like I said, like I don't see a lot of these changes. That's why, like, I get all my information from my Thorthiv. But my parents were saying that the numbers would actually increase during surprise songs, like my original songs, and then would
mhm.
decrease when I started singing the Taylor Swift stuff again.
Yeah, that happened a couple
So,
times. Yeah.
but I'm really proud of the most recent few that I've written. Like, if there's one thing that is painfully inspirational, it sure is heartbreak. I feel like I'm having one of the I'm having like the true Taylor Swift existential crisis. What's gonna happen someday if I'm happy? I've written like two love songs in my okay, maybe like three love songs in my life, but just being honest, one of them was simply because I was like daydreaming about the possibility of something with somebody who had already proven he was like a really messed up individual. I just was really young and naive. Another one of them is basically an anxiety song because it's like October Rain. October Rain is literally like, I think you're great, but what if you decide that you don't even like me? And the other love song is a true genuine love song. That is it. And I don't think that any of those songs are like my most impressive songs. So
Yeah.
what am I gonna do if that's what I have to pull for the rest of my life? Because apparently I need devastating heartbreak to write songs, which is just fantastic. But the good news is that the universe and God has a plan in place to never ever leave me with too little of that. That's just great. I'm set.
Oh God. Winner, I don't know if you posted already, but you need to like post at least a clip of Ghost Town from the Eras Tour live because oh my God,
Yeah.
I was like in freaking tears by the end of it. Like your emotion behind it, like I feel like t when you sing your original songs like October Rain or for example, which you've played a million times at this point, my fault, I will admit that because now everyone requests it. Um like I said, my fault. So sorry. But I feel like you're very much like just going through the motions and like playing it versus like with Ghost Town, you had so much emotion behind it that it felt like a genuine performance. Like, and it felt like you genuinely felt which I'm sure you do, but like connected to the song.
Yeah.
And like,
That's the newer one that I wrote like just a few months ago.
yeah,
So,
no, it just felt like it was something like you actually enjoyed performing and you wanted to put this emotion behind it and you felt connected and like it was great versus like when you're singing some of your older stuff, it's very much like let's just let's just get it over
yeah.
with.
Which I do need to work on that because I do think that I'm getting a little bit like some of it's getting stale. And I need to like reignite some of the like flame with some of those songs. But I will say, it is like these last few songs that I've written, I feel like they've been really, really good songs. And writing them and then singing them has been extremely therapeutic. Like
Mhm.
I mean, and I've always written my songs from my own personal experiences. So if anybody's ever wondering whether like my songs are about my own experiences, most of them are. I probably have like 3 or 4 that were like not quite so personal, but for the most part they are. But there's something different about writing a song that I genuinely think is like a really, 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 really good top-notch song and
Mhm.
connect with that much. It really is so therapeutic. Like this time and town
Hang on,
and
you're glitching.
therapeutic.
You need to repeat that.
Sometimes I can do stuff out here on my deck and my connection's fine, and sometimes I can't, and I just got a thing saying my connection was unstable. So I wonder if that's what's going on. Maybe if I move my laptop over and I go more in front of like the window rather than the brick. It's a small change, but it could make a difference. I don't know. Oh, for those of you who can see this, look at my skirt and my outfit. Heck. I'm very excited about this outfit because this entire outfit, not the jean jacket, but like the shirt and the skirt are both from Shein. This shirt is 100% cotton, okay? And it was from Shein. And it's tangled. And I'm not a child. I'm just an elementary school substitute teacher, okay? So appreciate it and don't judge me. But I digress. Anyway, but, you know, this time in Ghost Town are about they're each about two different things in my life that were really, really significant forces in my life that completely fell apart because the other person was not interested in fighting for it or working to make things better or trying to maintain it at all, and ultimately having to walk away from something that I knew wasn't good for me. And that is an experience that I feel like a lot of us go through. So I think that the songs are going to be very relatable to a wide audience. So I think that
Mhm.
that's a good thing about the songs. But I also just feel like they're powerful, and I started trying to use some different like words and stuff, to like try to diversify my vocabulary for those ones. I've been really trying to improve some of my songwriting skills recently, and I feel like all of my efforts really, really came through with those two songs. But I connected with them so much. Like this time I wrote that song. This is how that song came to happen, and I feel like I probably explained this to you, but I don't think that I told the people that watch our podcast. And I feel like if you guys are interested in the music aspect of it, I think you guys will find this interesting because this is the truth behind a songwriting process. Because not just like, oh, how did I write the song, but like how did the concept even come into fruition? I think that's the right word. I think that I'm using that word right. If I am, I feel fancy. But um, I sat down and I was like, I want to write a song. I was feeling inspired to write something. I was like in that mood. But I literally couldn't think of a single lyric or a thing to write about. This was at a time when my romantic relationship at the time was still doing decently well. So, and I'd already written a positive song about that, so I wasn't having like a whole lot of strong feelings about that. That was kind of just like chill. So there wasn't like a strong force that was like driving me to write something emotional. So I was like, I gotta find something to write about. So I honestly went on TikTok and looked up breakup TikToks, and I was looking for somebody else's story to turn into a song. That was what I was doing. I was watching videos and I was taking notes of phrases that I liked. I was taking notes of like specific story details if somebody actually told the story of their breakup and what happened. I was writing certain things down, things that I liked that I thought could be a really good concept. But somehow along the way I stumbled, like as I was scrolling, it switched from breakup to friendship breakup. And as I was watching those videos, that really got my wheels turning and I started writing stuff. And at the time, the friendship breakup that I've been dealing with and going through, I had kind of been in like I had kind of I thought at the time I thought that I had accepted that it was the way that it was and it wasn't going to change. I thought that I had come to a state of acceptance and it was like whatever. What I didn't realize what I was actually ignoring it and totally brushing it off and not addressing the feelings that I had with it. Every once in a while I would feel really angry. I would feel very disappointed and sad about it, but I would just kind of brush off and go, okay, back burner, we're not worried about that right now. And I never actually address those feelings. This is a really great example of how songwriting is actually like genuinely therapeutic because I wrote that song. I wrote This Time that night. I wrote the entire thing in like an hour. And then I cried. And I had not cried about this, this friendship breakup. I hadn't like I just think that I hadn't actually fully accepted what it was yet. And I don't think that I had fully addressed the feelings that I had about it. Because the thing is, like, having a friend that you've been friends with for such a big part of your life and realizing that you have to let them go because they just don't really, like, they don't care about you the same way. And, like, having to acknowledge that that's just who they are and that you have to let them go is so hard because it feels like you have to let go of a big piece of yourself.
Mhm.
And I think that at the time I just didn't want to like accept that that was the reality of it. And so when I finally sat down and wrote that song, all of those emotions came up and I actually like cried a few times over the next couple of days. Like I hadn't cried at all about it up until that point and I just felt so sad. Like I actually and it's where mental health is a bit tricky as a songwriter because I actually struggled. I genuinely struggled and felt a little bit, yeah, I would even almost say a little bit depressed for a couple of days over that because all of those emotions finally came out to the surface. But I was finally able to work through them through writing that song. And so it's weird how writing music is just as therapeutic as listening to it sometimes, as and is just as therapeutic as singing it sometimes.
Mhm.
And I feel like Ghost Town, I wrote that song. It was a little bit more of a subconscious thing. I hadn't fully acknowledged it and I hadn't been ready to admit to myself how far off course that relationship had gone yet. So Scotty was playing this guitar part that sounded cool, and I just started writing words to go with it. And before I knew it, this whole song came out, and I was like, "Where did that come from?" Like this is how far into like denial I was. Where did this come from? I don't know. I think it might be inspired by this or by that over there. Maybe a little bit by like my situation right now, but I just don't think that it's this. And about a month later, as like everything finally kind of like settled into place, and I was realizing how bad the situation that I was in was. I realized that it was my subconscious speaking to myself through my songwriting, telling myself, like, look, you have to admit that, like, this is the situation, this is how you feel, even if you're not ready to admit it.
Yeah, she
And
was in major denial, by the way. Like the most denial about both situations because I tried to tell her that you stopped moving. You keep
yeah,
glitching. Um
you started like, am I good?
yeah. So I also have been through a friendship breakup similar to hers. It was 13 years long. And it just wasn't working. We were two different people. We grew into two different people. Um, it kind of went down the same way. I was kind of putting my all into it, and she just wasn't fully like reciprocating that. And so it was a big thing. And so finally, we decided that like this isn't just like us anymore. Like it's not what we used to be. We're never going to get to the point where we used to be. And so we split off. Um And we still talk sometimes, which I hope for your case that like that's you can eventually get to that point. Um, but Chelsea was in so much denial about this that I kept telling her, like, I've gone through the same thing. This is like, it's going to be okay. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, whether it works out or it doesn't, like, everything's going to be okay. She argued with me every single time I told her about this. She was in so much denial that she argued with me every single time. And she's like, no, you don't understand. It's not the same. It's not the same. And I'm like, it's the exact freaking same. It's the exact same. And you're arguing with me. And and as for the actual breakup goes, someone's calling me. Hang on. Sorry, my summer school called me to make sure that I pay my tuition. Um, okay, sorry. Um, anyway, she was so in denial about this breakup too, because I was like, Chelsea, like, there was a situation that happened earlier, um, in the relationship where I was like, this is not cool at all. And she's like, I mean, it's probably, well, there were two big situations, which one of them
There
majorly,
were actually three big
yeah,
situations.
well,
One of be technically correct.
one of them majorly affected the way like she thought of him, like the perspective definitely changed at a certain point, but I kept trying to tell her, I'm like, this is like manipulative, this is not okay, like this is not working. And she's like, no, no, it's fine, you don't understand. Come to find out, she's stopping from telling me things because I was
Yeah, my mom sold me out, okay? She
yeah,
straight sold me out.
yeah, I was telling her
Like,
too
can
much.
you stop telling your friends things? That's how you know he's bad news. That's what he was trying to get you doing the first. I'm like, okay, I get it, mom, I get it.
Yeah, I was being so honest with her that she didn't like hearing about it, that she stopped telling me about it. That's how in denial she was about both of these things. And I would just like to call her out for it because I love her. Because guess what?
You want to call me out because you love me?
I would do the exact same thing probably. I haven't been in a relationship in a very long.
Hey,
It's just
B, can
hacking.
you mind your? Can you just like respect my personal space, sir? Oh, he's trying to live in the. Oh man, there's two of them. Okay. I am I'm currently trying to work through my fear of bees. I've been trying to work through it for the past few years.
It's not working.
They haven't run away screaming.
She has a huge fear of bees. I almost said beers. She,
I'm afraid of beers too.
she has a huge fear of bees. No, because I'm not saying calling you out to be mean. I'm calling you out because I think it's relatable to a lot of people. And honestly, I haven't been in a relationship in a very long time, but I was also in this situation where it was not a good relationship. Like it was manipulative. I, it was in like the entire Snapchat era. So like that was a whole thing. But like people, everyone around me was like, Peyton, like this is not good for you. Like this is
What
not
about the can while I'm out here?
this is not making you happy. And I'm like, no, no, it's great. It's great. It wasn't
It's
great.
fantastic, isn't it?
It wasn't great. And then after I left, I realized that all of the things that happened, it was like laid out for me that all of these bad things happened. And so I think that it just takes some like perspective, some outside perspective, because when you're in it, you don't realize.
Yeah.
But
When I
when,
think that emotions cloud your judgment too, because I am somebody that I keep people in my life that I genuinely care about and I genuinely love. And it is not easy to walk away from somebody that you genuinely care about and you genuinely love. And that goes for friendships and romantic relationships. It goes for everything. It goes for toxic family members. It goes for, like it's everything, any relationship. And I think that when you genuinely care about somebody that deeply, you want to see the best in them and you want to believe the best in them because that's what you would want from somebody else. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And I just feel like that's the definition of love too, is always choosing to see the best in somebody and always believing them and standing by them and caring about them no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that I have a bad habit of falling into situations with people who do not experience that same feeling or emotion towards other people. Think
Mm-hmm.
that I definitely attract that.
Yeah, and I get it. It's hard to like realize, and it's hard to open up to people who are going to tell you straight what's going on. Like, I'm probably not the most enjoyable person to be around when I'm like, this is shitty for you. I did not mean to say shitty, but I guess this is the point where we're at in this podcast. I've done so well. But anyways, like this has like this is not good for you and I know that's not what you want to hear, but you need someone telling you that.
Yeah.
Especially like a friend because like when you're hearing it from your mom, it's different because you're like, "No, mom, you don't understand." But like
Scream about daddy, I love you.
with a friend, you need a friend to tell you like, "Okay, like this isn't good for you." As crappy as it is to hear and as much as you don't want to hear it.
Yeah. And a good friend is one that will tell you those things even when you don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Or even not that I thought you were gonna cut me off or anything, but like even like at risk of like them being upset with you and like not talking to you or like whatever, like
Yeah, but being a whole
sometimes
lot more worried about their well-being than your friendship,
yeah.
which, you know, like just being honest though, that's the exact reason why you're the one that I like aside from my mom, you're the friend that I come to first for pretty much everything because I know that you will blatantly tell me like it is. Like you'll tell like I mean, you'll tell me, like, I'll send you a video. You think I should post this? No, I think that you ramble on a little too much, and I think people are gonna get bored in the first 5 seconds. Don't post that. That's it.
I did do that.
that's, but like, but I'm trying to post good content, and I'm trying to post stuff that's entertaining, and I'm literally asking for your opinion because I'm worried that that might be the case, and I need somebody to tell me that honestly, not just be like, oh yeah, I think it's good, I think it's fine, not like give me like a mediocre answer of like, oh, it's fine, like it's not that big of a deal. I need someone to like pick it apart like my mom does, and my mom doesn't always like giving her opinion on the social media stuff because she doesn't really feel like she doesn't know what do people post all the time. She doesn't feel like she's as familiar as like we are. So she's like she at this point she tells me, go ask Peyton. She'll know better than I do.
Yeah.
And I know that I can ask you and that you'll tell me honestly, and I know that I can trust your opinion as much as I would trust my mom's or my own.
She trusts my opinion, but she argues with me first. She like, she's
Just because I trust you doesn't mean that I'm any less argumentative or strong-headed, okay?
She so for some context for that video it was like her like talking about like her being a singer and like being in a relationship and I was like like I said or like she said I was like I think people are gonna get bored and she's like no I don't think so I think people want to hear it. Guess what, she didn't post it and I'm like I'm like she listens to me but she argues with me first before she listens to me.
It's true though. And since then, I'm glad I didn't post it because I think because like in hindsight, now that I'm not like caught up in like the emotions as much, I do think that I could do a better job of making a video that actually like explains like that a little bit, just like be more like vulnerable and just talk about it. Because I feel like it's important to talk about that stuff sometimes because I feel like people look at Taylor Swift don't think that she has like normal feelings and normal struggles. People like to jump to the assumption that because she struggles with relationships, it's her fault. And I guess maybe in a sense, it kind of might be. But it's not really her fault. Maybe it is. We don't know. We're not there. She could be a full blown narcissistic POS who treats people like garbage and drops people at the drop of a hat and all these things. Like, she could be toxic as all get out, and we would have no idea because we don't know her.
Mm-hmm.
But it could also be her fault in a sense because she's one of the most successful singers out there. She's super successful both in singing and performing and writing her own music. She has an entire fan base that loves her to pieces and would go to bat for her at the slightest little inkling of like, oh, he looked at her funny, jerk, get you. Like, she's huge. That has to be terrifying to men. That has to be.
Yeah.
Because they want to feel like they're top tier and they're the alpha male or whatever BS they're running around saying these days. But, like, to be threatened by the one that you love is totally not up. I think for just all of the mediocre men that has surrounded herself by. But look at her and be like, oh, well, she must be messed up. It's her fault. Well, it's not her fault. It's the circumstance that she's in. Mm-hmm. But I can speak to that as somebody who has literally been told straight up to my face by a guy, I'm intimidated and I'm not sure that I want to follow you on this journey because that's not the life that I want to lead, and I don't think that I want to be in the spotlight, or that I want this or that, or like I'm afraid that you're going to compare me to other things and people, and like I'm not this and that. And it's like, so you don't feel that you're good enough. That's the problem. And ultimately, that's not my fault. I can't do anything about that. Mm-hmm. And the same thing applies to someone like Taylor Swift. And I feel like it's important to talk about that. So I still might make a video on that.
So I think you could make a video, but I think you could make like a 3-minute video. The video she sent me was like 10 minutes long. I was like, no one's gonna watch that.
Just go hide in my room.
And she kept arguing with me. She's like, no, some people like that. And I'm like, no one's gonna watch that.
It's so true though. So this is the end of today's podcast. We went on for a very long time and we are deciding to cut it off now because, well, I don't know if anyone's going to want to listen to this as long as it is anyway at this point.
I feel like it was a good ramble, but yeah, we're going to go. Thank you for listening to us.
We love you.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.